the legal, the legislative capital.
Yes.
Yeah. Whether it's still like that, I don't know. Did you go all around the Cape Peninsula?
Yes.
To Simonstown?
Have a Table Mountain.
Yes.
Table Mountain.
Yes. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Did you go to around, drive all the way around?
I hope I travel by tour, tour group.
Yeah. So do you remember Cape Point
Yes.
and Simonstown?
Yeah.
And you come through Fishhook? Do you remember the place called Fishhook?
Fisher. No.
Fishhook. Not far from, then there's Muizenberg. Have you seen Muizenberg? Anyway, I was born around there.
You?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I left there in 1969.
In over there have black skin, almost black skin.
Yes. A lot of Africans, yes. I saw one yesterday. He went to the lunch, went to lunch at the pier, and he was definitely from Africa, but I don't know where. Do you have this book? Book 3?
I keep it now.
Okay, great. Great. Wow.
ไปไหนมาบ้างคะร้านนี้ร้านนี้ไปไหนมาบ้างคะ
I'm an old student, but now I'm not. I am absent because my mom, she was sick.
So you took care of her?
Yes, she's a stroke in the brain,
Oh, shame.
but now she's calmed down.
Yes.
Now, yes.
Better.
Yeah, not better.
Oh.
Not better.
Oh, so where is she now?
I don't know. On the hospital and the ICU room.
Oh.
Cannot move anything. Sleep
Oh.
only.
Oh. I'm
She's
sorry.
elderly.
Yes.
Almost 89 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry, so it doesn't look good, does it? But, yeah,
นั่นป่วย
way for all of us. Okay, so we did this. I think we did that. 66? No.
62
72.
72แล้ว
Yeah.
อ๋อ
So it's, Aruni, it sounds like you know quite some English. You worked in this book at all?
Yes.
You have? Uh-huh.
Yeah. I can borrow.
No, that's okay. I want you to, but have you done anything in this book?
Yeah.
Have you done any work in it?
Mhm.
You've done, we're on page 72.
72.
Yes. So all I'm asking you is if you have done anything at all in this book. Now this book takes place mostly in England. So many of the words are British words. The towns are like Manchester. And the monks knew Manchester because of Manchester United and the soccer team. Yeah. So we're talking about the weather. Now, we talked about climate as well. Climate is a little different. Today, what is the weather like? Who can tell me? How is the weather outside? Oh, the weather is so delightful. La, 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 la.
Climate is mean the temperature.
Pardon?
Climate is mean temperature. No.
First, let's talk about the weather. What is the weather like today? Is it raining? Sunny and very humid. You know what humid is?
Yes. Wet.
Yeah, sort of dampness in the air, wetness in the air, which makes it even hotter. Yeah, it can be, if it's dry, Manila is more dry, heat, I think. Arizona in the desert is very dry heat, but here it is humid. There's moisture, there's dampness. Moisture, you know the word moisture? Moist. If something's moist, it's just wet, just damp. You know the word damp?
ชื้นแฉะ
Damp.
ดี
So when I iron my dress and when I iron my blouse, I sprinkle it with water so it's damp.
ชื้นแฉะ
Yeah. Yeah.
How spell them? How spell?
DAMP. I'll write it down. I'll write down the words that are connected with this.
พี
We have weather. We have humid or humidity. Humid or humidity. The humidity is quite high today. So you're talking about the humid. I would say it is humid today, and the humidity must be about 90 Fahrenheit. I may be wrong. Okay, and then I said moisture. Moist and moisture.
Oh, I see.
And then damp. Dampness. Dampness. What did I say? Climate was the other thing. Climate. Ooh. Okay.
Oh, moisture is like for skin, wax for
Yes, make soft. But you know when you come out of the refrigerator, there's water on the outside, and that's moisture. Moisture. When I iron my blouse, I make it wet with water. I dampen. I make it damp, and then it irons better. Takes the creases out. Okay, this is what's interesting. The whole world has different climates. When we talk about climate, we talk about a large portion, not just weather in one place. For instance, the climate in South Africa, down here, is the same as around here. Is the same around here. And because this is the Mediterranean Sea, we call this the Mediterranean climate, and over here, a Mediterranean climate. Now, this is, I can't read this.
Australia.
Yeah, this is 30, Cape Town is about 32 degrees. Up here in San Francisco, this is degrees south, and in San Francisco is about 32 or 35 degrees north. Not much difference. That's why those climates are the same. It's interesting. So the equator is about here. Now that's really, really hot. Mombasa, humid, like here. Singapore, also very hot, very humid. So here we go, we're down all here. Indonesia, less humid, but still hot. Little humid, but not as bad. Anyway, so the climate here, even in South Africa is different here than it is here, than it is here. So the climate talks about the whole state of weather in a large area or in the whole world. Right? You understand that? Yes? It's not, if you don't, it doesn't matter. Okay? But do we understand this now? Moisture and dampness. In the morning sometimes, there is, well, at least in, I don't know about here, but at night, things cool down, right? So in the morning, it could be damp on the cars, could be damp on the grass, like in the park, in Peony Park. I don't know, early in the morning, there might be moisture on the grass or the bushes, but I've never been there early, so I don't know. Okay, let's talk about the weather here, and more will come up, and maybe some of these. Okay, so you're writing down some words, that's fine. Okay, let's talking about the weather. Now there's an American author, somebody who wrote a book, his name was Mark Twain, and he once said, everybody talks about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. Can we do anything about the weather? Can we? Can we change the weather? I don't think we can change the weather. It's going to do what it wants to do. So that's why I introduced it that way, so you knew what I was talking about. But I'll tell you, people talk a lot about the weather, don't they? When they meet somebody and they don't know what to talk about, they'll talk about the weather. How's the weather? What do you think about the weather? Isn't the weather great? Isn't the weather awful? You know what awful is? Miserable, wet and cold. So people talk a lot about the weather. So, Jenny, do you want to start reading?
Yes. And the America author may
Mark Twain. Mark Twain.
Twain once say, everybody
Talks.
talk about the winter,
Weather.
winter,
Weather.
but nobody does anything about it.
One more sentence.
It is true that everybody talk about the winter.
Weather.
Winter is the most
Common subject.
common subject of conversation. There is
Okay, so the kinds of things they would say. Are there any words there you didn't understand? Did you understand all the words? Do you know what author is? The writer of a book. Morning, Molly. How are you? So do you know the word? What is author in Thai? An author is somebody who writes either a book or an article that he puts in a newspaper or in a magazine, but mostly about books. So what is the Thai word for author? Can you tell me? Do you know? Yeah.
เราจะรู้จักไหนส่วนมากเราจะรู้จักชื่อ
In Thailand, I have many authors.
Yeah.
It's a newspaper.
Yes.
Somebody writes it for the
Yes.
papers. The
Yeah.
spring.
Yes.
Even happen in the days.
Okay, so understand author, huh? Okay.
ก็คือหนึ่ง
นักประพันธ์อ๋อ
ใช่
ใช่
ก็พันก็เป็นเรียนเนี่ยก็เรียน
First sentence.
คนแต่งเหรอ
Yeah?
who write
Yes.
who writes story.
Yes. Right story. So this one, his name is Mark Twain. And he is somebody that's very well known in the United States. Very well known author. Everybody knows about Mark Twain. And he's right. So these are some of the things that he says. He says, crayon, isn't it?
Isn't it a nice day? Do you think it will rain?
Rain? Yeah. Okay.
I think it's going to snow. There are some of the usual ways of starting a conversation.
Yeah, these are some of the usual ways of starting a conversation. Yes, it's true. Okay. Mhm.
Many people think they can tell what the weather is going to be like, but they hardly ever agree with its author.
Okay. Aruni?
Yes. The final postcard Miss Rain may say, do you see how cloudy?
Cloudy.
Cloudy.
Uh-huh.
This is the east. It's going to rain tomorrow. While on the same day, the mother who has promised to take her children out for a picnic the next day may say, look how cloudy this is in the east. That means it's going to be fine tomorrow.
Yeah. So you see, and in Thailand, do they talk a lot about the weather too? No?
No. Conversation of Thai. Hi, how are you?
Yes.
But in America, on another continent, say, have a nice day.
Yeah, and when you say goodbye,
You
yes.
say, bye, have a nice day, yeah. Because the weather is changed always.
I don't think that's related to the weather. I just think it's wishing people to have a good day.
Have a
Yeah,
nice day.
yeah. So the mother here was concerned because she had prepared this picnic, you know, Yeah.
Even say, have a nice day, have a good day.
Yeah.
Can I have, restaurant or talk to, you say, have a nice day.
Mm-hmm.
When you say bye-bye,
Yes.
and how I talk, or I respond this way. Understand?
I don't really understand
You
it.
understand? Yeah?
No.
You say, have a nice day for me,
Yes.
and which word or which conversation to talk to you? Or you too? I say you
Yes,
too.
yes. Yes, and you too.
And you too.
Yes. Yeah, they say that. I think when I say goodbye here, I usually say have a nice evening or have a nice, the rest of your day. When we say bye-bye. Morning, Sophie, how are you? We don't pay Sophie. Do you think this class is too easy for you, Aruni?
Let me see, okay.
Okay.
Mine is not so good.
You are pretty good. You can always try Pat's class down there. She talks a lot about more difficult things, you know, like geography and the newspaper and articles and things like that. Yeah.
ง่ายเกินไป
Okay. So Sophie, we see I've got words on the board which relate to the weather outside. Oh, the weather outside is da 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 da. The weather outside is so delightful. I don't think. Because it's pretty hot out there. Okay. So we also talked, and have you done this with us before, Sophie, when we talked about weather and climate? Do you understand climate?
Yes.
Okay, so in different parts of a country, you can have different climate. It doesn't mean to say that in one country the weather is all the same. When it's different, like in different parts, you talk about the whole climate. And the climate of the world, the weather is different in different parts of the world. And if there are any words on the board you don't understand, just let me know, okay? So would you mind reading from official, which is down here? Official? Yeah.
อันที่อันสุดท้ายหน้า72อันสุดท้ายนะ official official
Last paragraph.
Last one.
สุดท้าย
Official.
พารากัสสุด
Could
ท้าย
you read
อ่าน
please?
เลย
Official weather forecast come out every day, but they don't always tell us what we would like to hear.
True.
Now and again, the forecasts are wrong, of course, but more often than not, they turn out to be right.
That's right. The weather has a mind of its own. You cannot always predict what's going to happen. So do you know what weather forecast is? When I talk about official weather forecast, do you know what that means?
Forecast means to see the future.
Yes, they're telling it what's going to happen with the weather for tomorrow and Sunday. They can tell it in a week or more just by, they've studied it for so long that every day on television or on the radio, they'll give you a forecast predicting in the future what's going to happen. So you can be, understand and be prepared.
Predict.
Predict. Yes. Predict. Yeah. And official means, you know what official means. There's a weather bureau, it's called a weather bureau, and they work only on weather. Okay, what did Mark Twain say about the weather? Marley, were you here when we started reading that? We started at the very top page. You can read that if you like. Three sentences. Same page. As
the American author Mark Twain once said, everybody talks about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. It's true that everybody talks about the weather. It's the most common subject of conversation there is.
Yes. So what did Mark Twain say about the weather? Mark Twain said,
everybody talk about the weather, but nobody does anything about it.
it is true that everybody talks about the weather. It's the most common subject of conversation there is. Yeah. So sometimes when you meet people who, yeah, you might go through the formalities of saying good morning, how are you? And then you say, isn't it a nice day? It's just common. It's just what people do. Do you know what subject, a common subject of conversation means? Yeah? Okay. Subject, different things that people talk about. Okay. Oh, here's number 2. Jenny, read number 2, please. It's okay. Down here. What? Well, okay, I'll read it. What is the most common subject of conversation? The most common subject of conversation is talking about.
It is true that everybody talking about it.
Yeah. So So we answer that question like this. The most common subject of conversation is talking about the weather. Do you understand that? Do people... Sorry?
Isn't is a night day.
Okay, read number 3, Prayer.
Do people usually agree about the weather?
Start with people, usually.
Usually agree.
People.
Do you think it will rain? I think it's going snow.
Okay, this is-
They talk about.
Okay, but do they usually agree? Do you know what
Agree.
agree means? Okay, I'm going to go through these again. Do people usually agree about the weather? And up there, if we understood it, people usually do not agree about the weather, right? Yeah, they don't. Yeah. Do you believe that weather forecasts usually turn out to be right? What do you think? Sufi?
Do you see how cloudy it is?
I didn't hear you, sorry.
Turn out.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Number 4, do you believe that weather forecasts usually turn out to be right? I believe, you can start your sentence, I believe or I don't believe.
I don't believe. I don't believe.
But they do usually, it says at the very bottom, now and again, down here, it says down here, now and again the forecasts are wrong, right? Of course, but more often than not, they turn out to be right. So since we know that, do you want us to turn the aircon up? Holly? When is it? Yeah, pretty, there. Oh, it's in my... Okay. Do you find this hard to understand?
Official return forecast some hours very day.
I'm sorry? I want to hear you. What did you say, Sophie?
Official return forecast some hours very day.
I believe that weather forecasts usually turn out to be. Is that what you say? Are you okay?
Not believe. Don't believe.
Wait, let me just give you all these. Would you like one of these? Would you like one of these, Molly? Molly? Would you like one of those? No? No? These are good. Oh boy, I'm going to do something about my throat. Okay. Tell me, is this too difficult? Is this difficult to understand? Are we having a hard time understanding this story about the weather?
In that way.
Which question don't you understand? Let's do it that way. What did Mark Twain say about the weather? Mark Twain said Everybody talks about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. You understand that? Yeah? Does everybody, Sukhi, do you understand that? See the, Sukhi? Look, this is the first question right here, look. Look at my book, please. Tafadali. You look up here, there's number 1. And I read it